157. Whoever amongst you does not however create the garden of knowledge, love and wisdom, and therefore not the garden of freedom, peace and consonance harmony, will create a shadow world hell, with flaming blazing fire in themselves and their nature, which will burn you up. 158. Truly, the laws and recommendations of the fullness of life creation do not go according to your wishes or the wishes of all people's humanity, because you and people of your kind fellow human beings have to fall in line with the laws and recommendations of the fullness of life creation, so that you do rightfully and lead a pleasing life. If you do not heed the laws and recommendations of the fullness of life creation, and if you do evil, then you will find neither true friends nor helpers who stand by you in openness honesty. And those who do not call themselves your friends, you will not find any grace from them. 159. If, however, you do good deeds, whether you are man or woman or child, and if you are connected to the truth, then you will find true friends amongst people of your kind, like-minded ones, as also amongst those who are not attached to connected to the truth of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of love creation, and the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, because they value, esteem your good deeds and show you thanks. 160. And all of you, whether you are man or woman or child, you will build up in yourselves a pleasing, favorable realm of pleasure, realm of the firmament/paradise, and you will not be aware of feel any non-right in yourselves, not even the smallest iota of weight, because your reward is righteousness, conscientiousness, and virtuousness. 161. And who amongst you has greater knowledge and greater wisdom than you who are connected to the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, you who do good deeds and are upright ones in your righteousness, conscientiousness, and in your virtues, and you who follow the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of love creation? Truly, those amongst you who are fair ones, responsible ones, and valiant in the fulfillment of your duties and your obligation responsibility, life has you as its special friends. 162. Truly, the primal wellspring of all beauty creation is solely the truth of all reality being, and the truth of all activity existence, in the firmament's universe, on the earth's worlds/planets, and whatever is in between outer space, and it alone also encompasses all things of the life of each creature, of the waters, the airs, the firmness stone/rock, and everything that crawls and flies. 163. If you are searching for a decision in the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all grace creation, concerning man and woman and child, then you will find it if you are in open willingness of open sense. If your willingness open sense is not sufficiently skillful educated, then rely on the teaching of the prophets, which is the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, the teaching of the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of all grace creation, in which you find the precious decision, and therefore act accordingly as is presented to you and taught to you through the teaching of truth of the prophets. When you have to decide about orphans, when they want to enter into a bond, want to marry, so that you give them your help for everything that they need, and act equally in good decision according to right law and recommendation. If you have weak ones, disabled ones, amongst children, so that they may also be given equitableness, fairness, and help in all things, and so may have a good life. Also practice equitableness, approval/fairness, in all things of right and law and of recommendations for the orphans, so that they may lead an existence to the extent of everything necessary, and heed the rights of man and woman and of children, so that no non-right or gevalt is done to them, and they may lead their existence rightfully in freedom and peace, and therefore in consonance harmony, and not be starved of food or drink, and not suffer want of provision for all the things they need. 164. And if, in a bond marriage, a woman or a man fears rough treatment or indifference from the other, Then it shall be of rightness for both that they discuss the difficulty problem with one another in a seemly way and achieve reconciliation with one another, because reconciliation in righteousness, conscientiousness, and flawlessness, honesty, is truly the best, so that peace may be brought about. 165. And make sure that you are not full of greed and avariciousness, whether you happen to be in a bond marriage, or if you are unbound single, because such deeds bring dispeace and unfreedom in yourselves, as well as dissonance, disharmony, and strife with people of your kind, fellow human beings. Therefore it is better for you if you are truly knowing in the laws and recommendations of the primal power of all life creation, and follow them so that you may turn to righteousness, conscientiousness, and to goodness. 166. Truly, it may be that no matter how greatly you may wish it, you cannot find any comprehensive equality balance between yourselves if you are connected in a bond marriage, as man and woman, or if you are connected in a straightforward bond of inclination, lesbian/homosexual bond/unity, between man and man or woman and woman, because truly there cannot be a perfection in equitableness balance, but only an approximation, relativity/proportionality. Therefore you can only achieve a limited conditional equality balance between yourselves, and even then only if you are inclined to one another and do not leave one another in abeyance uncertainty. And if you act together in such a way, then your equality balance between one another will be excellent, the best. And if you do not separate and you are concerned to achieve an equality balance between yourselves, then your fullness of love and consonance harmony will make you independent from useless strivings about one another, and consider that if you are connected to one another in true love, then you nevertheless all the same have to retain your independence, free will, so that you do not fall prey to unfreedom, subservience to the other. Truly it is both in a bond and in a lack of bond rightful that man and woman have their own opinion and may announce it also without inhibition, fear. And this also applies to children in such a way that what is said shall not be punished, providing it is not of non-right. 167. Truly, everything that has been created in the firmament's universe, and on earth's worlds/planets, is the deed of creation, and also its laws and recommendations, by means of which you are protected in your existence if you give them ampleness, sufficiency, and you receive the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life through the true prophets, by which you come to know the teaching of the laws and recommendations of creation, so that you may turn yourselves to it and be knowing, conscious in the truth, and so you give yourselves satisfaction. 168. The firmament's universe, and earth's worlds/planets, and all existence are created by the truth of the laws and recommendations of the primal power creation, so that you are present existent, and you may dedicate yourselves to the duty of unfolding evolution of your inner world consciousness. 169. If you want to, you can keep yourselves from learning the teaching of truth, but you cannot put others in your place who could bring fullness, sufficiency, to learning the teaching of truth and to unfolding evolution of your inner world consciousness, for you learning for you. 170. Who amongst you desires the reward of this world, may consider that the reward here below is always measured according to your conduct, behavior, and how your deeds and words are evaluated. 171. And those amongst you who are firm in upholding, maintaining equitableness, fairness, in righteousness, conscientiousness, and in the virtues, you are witnesses to the truth, even if it is directed against yourselves or against your parents and siblings or against your children and relatives.